I get asked pretty often why I like Kanye West so much and like what's so special about this dude. Honestly, it's a great question. I have no idea. Or at least I didn't. Before I started making this video, I had no clue. But he actually answers the question really fucking well. In several of his interviews, and there's a compilation that I'll probably clip and put some of this in the video for y'all to see, he talks about his fans, and he talks about how his fans are really just fans of themselves, and he just enables the right mindset. It's pretty smart, actually. It makes a lot of sense. In fact, that's exactly why I like him. When I look back at the thing that really brought me into Kanye West, I look at the Yeezus album from 2013. My senior year of high school, I wasn't an awkward kid, but I was pretty weird. I didn't really do any of the things that everyone else did, and then at the same time I did. It's kind of fucked up, but that really pulled my personality out the right way, and then I started channeling the energy in the right way. It helped me so much, tremendously, with personal problems, and it showed me a lot that I didn't know about myself. It literally is just confidence. Being a fan of Kanye West is just having confidence in yourself, feeling like you can do whatever you want to do, and I definitely feel that way. It also goes hand in hand with bipolar depression. I hate being that guy to bring up stupid ass shit like that because everyone's got their problems, but just for the point of this, it does directly coincide. You know, when you're on a high, you can do anything you want. Like this year alone, I've took up 3 or 4 little pastime hobbies and gotten pretty good at them and dropped them, and I do it all the time. If I could focus my energy on one specific thing, I would be unstoppable. I'd be a millionaire. But it's hard to harness those feelings and that superpower, as he calls it. It's really hard to channel all that energy all the time. The man literally does whatever he wants all the time. Don't we all want to be that guy? What really doubles down my appreciation for him is the fact that he can do whatever he wants, and he's still trying to do good things for society. Like he's trying to help build homeless shelters, get a more affordable clothing line out there. I mean, everything the dude touches turns to gold. I've never seen anyone like him before, and his art's really good. The guy is a true artist. Say what you want to about him. Maybe you don't like the MAGA hat. Maybe you don't like the random crazy outbursts because of his bipolar depression. But you gotta admit, the dude's fucking fantastic. Whenever he gets his mind right, he does anything he fucking wants. Prepare yourself for a tangent, because I have to say something here. I notice this a lot with people in everyday life. And I did the same thing for a long time. And I still do a little bit, but it seems that I've gotten out of it here in the last few months, I suppose. I've really been on top of my shit. I noticed that whenever I give, let's just say, I'm trying to get an example here. Let's say that I run a business, for example. And let's say I have a couple of employees who work for me. One employee, when I mention a policy change or I mention something new that we have to do, he's like, okay, cool. Let's find a way to get it done. The other one is always very negative. It's just the end of the world. It's down every time. There's no up with him. That mindset shows me where that person is mentally. Maybe not only at work, but in life at home, or where they're at in their self personally within. It's almost like an easy way to see their vibe without really even knowing. You just kind of sense it on them, I suppose. But it's so easy to be me on this side of it and say, well, it's just a mindset thing. Yes, that's what it is, but overcoming that mindset is the hardest part of changing. Changing someone is so much harder than changing things around someone. And that's why you see people get rich and flame out. That's why you see people get a little success and flame out. Because they're not really changed. They just struck gold and they used it up and now they're just like everybody else. The most quotable thing Kanye West has ever said is that we are controlled by our perception of ourselves. I don't know if there's anything more accurate that has ever came from anyone's mouth before. We really are controlled by how we feel about ourselves. That's why confidence is so important. It's not about being better than anyone. It's a shame that we're taught in our society not to be confident, not to have an ego. We're told that that's wrong and it's not virtuous, but that's what you have to be great. And we're just told we're not allowed to do it anymore. We're not allowed to be, I don't want to use the word masculine, but we're not allowed to have that kind of energy. We're not allowed to be that person. We're seen as clowns. We're frowned upon. It's messed up. Of course, the people at the bottom always have negative opinions about the people at the top, no matter what you're doing. From sports teams to work, corporate offices, it happens everywhere. At your parents' house, the people at the top are always frowned upon. And sometimes for good reason. Some people don't do well with all the power. Sometimes they're not good leaders. Sometimes they're piss poor leaders. Sometimes they don't want to lead though, and it's like they're expected to. And it's kind of funny how our culture actually pushes us into these mindsets. Think of any TV show or movie you've ever loved. Now look at the protagonist and look at who they are individually. I'm willing to bet that that character breaks the mold of what they're supposed to be, whether that be a straight-A student or maybe they're not politically correct as a child growing up, but they're different almost always. And the story centers around the individual, which is something society says we shouldn't do. Socially, we are supposed to promote the betterment of the group rather than the individual, which I think is horrendous. And actually, if we wanted to jump into some politics, it's really the big difference between capitalism and socialism. The point is, we shouldn't be told not to be who we are. We shouldn't be told not to do whatever it takes to get us to be great. Unfortunately, the world around us oppresses that part of our own mindset. It oppresses our ability to be great as the individual. Mainly because we let it oppress us, but it does still happen nonetheless. So that's why I think Kanye West is such a fantastic leader. His mindset is what we should all strive to be like. When you're trying to be like Kanye, you can dress like him, you can try to rap like him, make music like him. That's all fine. But you should start thinking like him. Anyways, this has been Observations of a Dangerous Mind.